Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. Our first one comes from Kit is a Cat. Am I the beehole for telling my sister don't dish it if you can't take it? I, a 25-year-old female, am home for the holidays, so I'm seeing my sister Elsa, an 18-year-old, and brother Finn, a 17-year-old, for the first time in months. To put it simply, Elsa tortures Finn. Finn can't open his mouth around her without getting angry. She makes fun of his hair. He wears it long, his clothes, his hobbies, his friends. For example, I mentioned I was thinking of taking on extra work. Finn said that's a good idea because my rent has gone up. Elsa responded, "Since when do you have a finance degree?" If even. Frankly, he was right. He tripped up the stairs last night. She told him to stop pretending to be drunk. He was drinking with his friends downstairs. Elsa seems to think it's all a joke, but it upsets Finn. Finn asked if he wanted to watch a movie tonight and suggested one he likes. Elsa responded, "Not everything's about you." Finn wore a t-shirt of a band he likes. Elsa complained he doesn't even listen to them, and it went on and on. Yesterday, we went to a little coffee place. The usual joke, arguments happened all the way there. The trouble started when Finn accidentally knocked the table, and Elsa exploded, saying, "There's hot drinks on the table. Would you be careful?" And then yelled some more when Finn said it was an accident. I tried to defuse it and told Elsa to stop. She replied, "You need to learn to take a joke," when I told her she was taking it too far. Elsa kept on complaining. She gave us the silent treatment, even when Finn asked about her plans, and when she gave a blunt answer, turned to me and said, "Sorry, did I take that too far again?" I told her, yes, and she started yelling at us again about how we're ganging up on her. We don't. Here's the issue. During the commotion, Finn made a remark about Elsa's friends. I didn't hear this, but Elsa was very upset, and Finn admitted he said it. Last year, some really bad crap went down between Ella and her friends that really upset her, so he touched a nerve, knowingly or unknowingly. And I was sympathetic, as from what I saw happen, it was bad, and it messed her up, and Finn apologized. But I was on Finn's side, because Ella had ripped into him non-stop. So, Ella was yelling at Finn, and our mom was telling them both of them to stop to make up. I stepped in remembering all the crap Ella pulled, and said, Ella shouldn't dish it if she can't take it. And yes, it was harsh. I shouldn't have said it, but I felt like someone needed to put Ella in her place, because all she did until then was whine about me babying Finn and Finn's inability to take a joke. Ella stormed off crying. My mom told me it wasn't my place to tell her, as I'm only seeing part of what's going on. Apparently they've been at each other since she got back. And maybe that's true, but all I see, even before I moved out, was her antagonizing him and him giving her more grace than she deserved. Now, Ella is not talking to me. My mom is insisting I stay out of it, and we all make up for Christmas. So, am I the beehole? Hello, OP. No, you are not the beehole. It sounds like your mother is the beehole and Ella is also the beehole. Ella because, well, it's obvious she's acting like a brat and she keeps bullying and antagonizing her brother. And, if you push someone too far, they're eventually going to break. And I don't even think what you said was rude. I agree with you. She can't, she can't take it. She shouldn't dish it. And your mom is also a beehole, like I said, because she's enabling Ella to act like this. Over here telling you, don't stay out of it. You don't know what's going on. It sounds like she favors Ella over Finn, which is really sad when a parent does something like that. Ah, here we go. Looking down the comments, Emotional Layer 2270 says, not the beehole. Honestly, your sister sounds like a brat, and your parents have failed to stand up for Finn. This whole "it's not your business to stand up for when injustice happens" on Reddit has gotten old. Honestly, I don't think Finn needed to apologize. Ella, sorry if I said Elsa back in the previous story. Elsa effed around and found out. Your parents need to stop playing favorites. I agree. I agree they're playing favorites and they need to stop that, because Finn's gonna remember that when he leaves, I'm just saying. And our next one comes from Kai Betha. Am I the beehole for canceling my aunt's invitation to my wedding when she traveled the world to attend it? My husband and I, a 26-year-old female, got married 3 weeks ago. My husband is from South Africa, but I am French. So our wedding in the savannah in South Africa was a huge trip for the 13 French guests. We rented a beautiful lodge where you could see lions and elephants, etc. And to thank everyone for coming all this way, we rented it for 2 days. Day 1, wedding. Day 2, pool party. We only invited 30 people. The people we love. I had a huge argument with my aunt, a 38-year-old female, 8 years ago, and we cut ties ever since. But doing the invitations, I thought about how close we used to be. I decided to invite her. There was no +1 for anyone, and so I only invited my aunt. Not her partner or her kids, since I barely knew their names. My aunt said she was happy but insisted that we invite them. I told her no, but my mom teamed up with her and pressured me a lot during the year. I explained that the ceremony meant everything to us, and that we only wanted people we loved to be present. But my aunt booked flights for her, but also her family. She said it was a family trip, but added that she heard some of my guests canceled, and so that there were now spaces for her and her family. I told her that would not be happening, but her and her family could join us for the pool party the next day. After that, I got even more pressured by my mom into inviting them for the wedding itself, because they're coming all this way. But I kept refusing and tried to finish my dress without my mom. On the big day, after the ceremony, my husband and I left for an hour in the savannah with the photographers to make a few photos. As soon as we came back to the lodge, my aunt came to me, smirking. She was holding her kid, her partner was behind her. I'm not the scandal type. I don't know how to react. In my disbelief, I kissed the kid hello and shook the hand of her partner. I immediately felt sad for not defending myself. I then heard my mom and grandma telling my aunt about the extra chairs and food we had, that our family must stay for dinner. My sister lied for me, saying we don't have enough chairs because some are broken. So my aunt announced that they were leaving. I asked why leaving with them. She was supposed to stay for the dinner, and they were only 5 minutes away. She replied that they never intended to stay for dinner, but she'll spend time with us when they come back tomorrow for the pool party day. I was shocked. I replied that I had a change of plans, and that she and her family could not come for the next day anymore. My mom, usually lovely, lost it and told me that I had no right to cancel my aunt's invitation to the pool party. I reminded her that we paid for the whole wedding ourselves, and that she has no say in who I host, and I walked away, but she yelled back at me in front of everyone. She was screaming that the conversation was not over, and that I had better come back. My sister had to physically bar my mom from running after me. I still stood my ground and kept my aunt from coming back the next day. Am I the beehole? Hi, OP. I'm gonna say you're not the beehole. Your mom and aunt are definitely beeholes. After you told your aunt her family couldn't come, she probably should have just said, oh, if my family can't come, I won't come, but thank you. But I kind of put a little bit of the blame on you too, OP, because like you said, you had a falling out with your aunt. Why would you invite someone that you haven't made up with to your wedding? Why would you bring that unnecessary stress to you? And it's a wedding that's already going to be tough, flying people to Africa. And apparently you guys haven't made up, because she made sure to disrespect you and go against your wishes by bringing her family when you said, no, those people are not invited, because you really don't know them. And your mom's messed up too. She's over here trying to dictate your wedding like this. Like you said, you paid for everything, and it's your wedding. She has no place or any say in who you can and who you can't invite to your wedding, or anything involved in your wedding, like the pool party. Looking down the comments, I agree with Quinn Good, not the beehole. There is absolutely no reason the child and the partner could have not stayed at the hotel/lodge, while aunt was at the wedding and dinner. Your aunt and her lovely sister, your mother, who didn't pay for anything associated with the wedding, were out of line. Kudos to your sister for having your back. Best wishes and happy marriage. Hugs. I agree. Have a good marriage, and yeah, honestly, I'm really happy you finally stood up for yourself. I think you should have popped off as soon as you saw them, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. But like Quinn said, have a good wedding and have a good life. Our next one comes from Army Round 4716. Am I the beehole for telling a 28-year-old female, sister-in-law, a 32-year-old female, that her son is not my responsibility? Today, my brother, a 28-year-old male, sister-in-law, and I stepped outside to have a smoke. Their son, a 2-year-old male, opened the door and ran around the yard for a bit while we talked. When we were done, they both went inside and left their son outside. I yelled for him that it was time to go inside, and he yelled back, "No, shut up!" and continued to run around. I opened the door and stepped inside and saw my sister-in-law talking with her father. So I said, insert sister-in-law's name here, come get your son. Her father responded with, I'm talking to my daughter, very aggressively. I didn't say anything back, but just went outside to make sure the 2-year-old didn't get hurt. About 10 minutes go by when the nephew says he's ready to go inside. So we do. Sister-in-law's father tried to say something else to me, but I cut him off and said, her children are not my responsibility. The next time, I'll just come inside. And it'll be your fault if he gets hurt, since talking with your daughter is more important than being a mother. I would never leave my nephew outside alone, by the way. He called me a jerk. Mormons don't cuss, and said it's a good thing that you're unable to have to. Wow, what a demon to have children. I left for work shortly after the incident, but I can't help to think maybe I'm the beehole. No, OP, you are not the beehole. I'm not even gonna do the whole. Oh, no, you're not the beehole. Like you said, that's not your kid. You're not obligated to watch their child. They need to be parents and watch their child. They shouldn't leave it on you and just throw it on you like that. And it sounds like her father raised the winner, because he sounds like a jerk too. Over here trying to step to you like that when that's his grandchild out there. OP, I'm glad you cut him off and told him off because, yeah, you shouldn't have to take that from him. And also, OP, I would look into cutting him out. Over here doing low blows like that. I'm happy you're not able to have a child. That's demon stuff right there, man. That's ghoul stuff. OP, yeah, cut him out. Maybe cut his daughter out and all that too, because they seem like idiots. And you shouldn't have to be watching those people's kids, OP. So yeah, not the beehole. Oh yeah, and I forgot the kid. Personally, I cannot stand rude kids, so him telling you to shut up or whatever he said, I would have went in there and be like, good luck, kid. You want to be rude? And that comes from his parents, so again, I would look into not associating with those people, because that kid's gonna grow up to be a little monster if he's already telling adults to shut up. Our final one comes from Bis Agi 83. Am I the beehole for telling my mother she can keep the puppy she bought for my daughter? I, a 40-year-old male, and my wife, a 39-year-old female, had been considering buying a dog for our daughter. We already have a dog that is elderly and wanted to get a puppy, so it could learn from the elder dog. We both decided that right now is not a good time since we live in a very tiny place. Also, this is me not reading the story. Also, we did get a puppy when we had an elder dog, and she would act like an old dog. But then when the puppy came in, she reinvigorated the old dog, and she started acting like a puppy again. So it's a nice way to, jumpstart your older dog's health, life. I don't know. It makes them for some reason it makes them younger when you put a puppy next to an older dog. I don't know why, but that's what happened. It was nice. But yeah, back to the story. Yesterday, my mother, a 67-year-old female, bought our daughter an 8-week-old blue-nosed pit. She claimed our daughter named it Athena and everything. She told my wife that she could train it. My wife and I were pissed. I told my mother she has no right to buy a dog for our daughter without consulting us. I told her she can keep the dog at her house and train it herself. And that if my daughter had really chosen the name, she would have most likely done Sky or Everest, since she's a huge Paw Patrol fan, and not Athena since she's never heard the name before. My mother called me a beehole for the way I talked to her, and the dog was bought as a gift for her granddaughter. So, am I the beehole for my reaction? Hello, OP, dog person here. And no, you are not the beehole. That is not, buying an animal for a gift is not something you just do. Like you said, it's a huge responsibility. And yes, they needed to consult you and be like, yes, are you sure? Do you want this dog right now? Can you handle this dog? That is not something you just buy and give someone. That's what, at least what, 14 years of responsibility? If something you gotta, feed and clean up after. So yeah, she should have consulted you. And no, I don't think you're the beehole. I think you handled it well. And she bought the dog. She should handle the dog then. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.